Hey guys, it's the complete idiot back again to explain something he doesn't understand shit about. Today, I'm going to be explaining timeline perspectivism. That's right, timeline perspectivism. Alright, so basically, let's take an example. Say, medieval Poland. Alright, we see Poland as it is today, biased towards NATO, right? Or heck, not even medieval Poland, communist Poland, right? So anyways, we see Poland as it is today biased towards NATO ideals. Therefore, if from the Polish perspective, when we think about Poland, we are more biased towards NATO. Basically, Western ideals, Western ideologies, that kind of thing. Because when the Soviet Union broke apart, depending on how old you are, how old your parents are, your parents might not even have thought of having you. Or they might not even they might barely even have been born. My parents, my dad has been alive since the 1960s, and my mom since like 5 years later. So basically, they're pretty old people. They were alive during the Soviet Union, right? And I've lived my whole life in Canada, as you can see from my Canadian war flag back there. So anyways, but yeah, it's timeline perspectivism. And the thing is, the timeline we are born into, as defined by a nation's current history, like, say, Russia. Current Russia is doing a lot of bad things in Ukraine, right? War crimes, civilian bombings, a whole shitload of war crimes, alright? So we see that Russia's bad, but the Soviet Union is more gilded because it's more gone. It's more gone. This might just be from my perspective. This might just be an ADHD point of view. But I don't know, I know it is right before school right now. And, like, literally 20 minutes before I have to leave. So, I just decided to make this video because the idea popped right into my fucking head for no reason. Anyways, so yeah, timeline perspectivism. Russia's bad, this Russia's bad, but the Soviet Union, well, I don't know. And the Russian Empire, I don't even know what that is, right? Well, it's kind of like beta Soviet Union, beta Russia. And honestly, there never was really a good Russia, but, well, that one actually probably was just as bad as Soviet Union in its own way. Anyways, so the thing is about timeline perspectivism, many of us who were born into like the late 20th century, early 21st century, like I was born in 2008, so there's that. So anyways, I was born in 2008, and what else? Oh yeah, so yeah, I was born into the timeline where a lot of the nations are the same as they are now. Like, either they're aligned with NATO, either they're still very communist implemented, like Vietnam. Vietnam is still a communist country, Cuba is still a communist country, that kind of thing. And we just accept that, right? The more you learn about a country, you mostly learn about its direct past, or maybe you're interested in something farther back. It depends. But you see that era more clearly as you do anything else. But still, it's not as clear as it is in modern day. For modern day when you're born, you have the ideals sorted out. Meanwhile, for a lot of things like the Russian Empire and Soviet Union, you have to read a lot to get everything sorted out. But here you think you have everything sorted out in this time period. Like for Russia, clearly it's bad, right? Like it's far right, basic dictatorship, Putin controlling the media, controlling the Russian people, controlling the government, and he looks like he's going to stay that way. Basically, he's a dictator. But what we don't see as clearly is, because it's a time period we never really lived in, is, say, the Cold War. Like the Cold War Europe, Cold War West, Cold War East. We don't really see that, because we weren't born into an era before that. Again, the perspectivism part is the period you were born in, how you see things. So the nations of the world as they are right now, and how they're aligned. Because maybe it's just something that appeared in the modern day because we get so much access to free media. I don't know. But it's a thing that happens. And then on the other side, there's timeline. Again, timeline you were born into. But it's not, perspectivism is more like a worldview. Timeline is just a time period. That's it. That's literally all there is to say about it. So, timeline perspectivism. Put those two together and you get time-based worldview, basically. So, it's your time-based worldview on the time you were born and you live in, right? Anyways, that's all for my pointless, useless lecture on something I call timeline perspectivism. See ya.